All right, good people. Welcome to another Wednesday. What's up, everybody on live as well? As we go through it each week, we talk about different topics. And this month, we're talking about how to keep clients, how to stand your boundaries, how to retain them, and make more clients, and just make sure that your businesses. Of course, our goal is to have sustainable businesses as we make better businesses together. I know. I know. But I love it. It puts a smile on my face. If it doesn't put a smile on your face, then it should. Okay. When somebody says, let's make better pet businesses together, smile. Today, we're going over how creating clients that come back because retention, loyalty, and turning one-time clients into repeat clients is extremely important. Most pet professionals spend a lot of energy trying to get new clients, but the businesses that grow consistently are not just good at attracting clients, they're good at keeping them. All right, so we already understand that getting clients is important, but keeping them is profitable. So, what this conversation is about what happens after someone books with you. So the client comes in once and they never return. So we have to ask, like, was it the service? Was it the experience? Was it the communication? Was there any friction in booking? Like, did you make it easy for them to book? Or did we simply just never invite them back? Because sometimes that happens. And we already know if I'm not saying, hey, book your next appointment, clearly something is wrong with you. Um, I'm okay if you don't come back. And we all have those people that we are okay if they don't come back. But retention is cheaper than acquisition. So it takes more time, money, and effort to attract. I had to talk about it. Right. It takes more money, time, and effort to attract a brand new client than it does to keep a client who already knows you, trusts you, and has paid you before. So, a repeat client is valuable because they already understand your process. They are less likely needing more convincing that they should book. They're easier to rebook and more likely to refer other people to you. So, I mean, we already know that they accept our prices because they're ours. So they already know that what we expect, what we're charging, and what to look forward to in their next appointment. And not only does this help you create predictable income, it allows you to create a loyalty system based off of the experiences that people have with you. So a loyal client is not just another appointment, it is a business, it is part of business stability. If you are always chasing new clients but not keeping the ones that you already have, your business becomes a revolving door. And we don't want revolving door businesses. We want loyalty, we want consistency, we want repeatable clients, we want clients that are going to refer their friends and make sure that our businesses stay sustainable. Now, why do clients leave? They do not always leave because they hated the service. Sometimes booking was difficult. I've had that where people don't want to download the app, they don't want to input their vaccine records, just making excuses. People want convenience and they want it to be easy. So sometimes it can be that communication was unclear or they didn't feel appreciated when they walked through the door, or mobile. Let's see, the experience felt inconsistent. They didn't understand the value of the work that you put in. They Nobody asked them to come back again, lack of communication, or they found somebody who made the process easier, or that those are reasons why clients leave. So when they leave, the experience becomes forgettable, frustrating, or replaceable. And for us, the service matters, right? For us as professional, it matters, but the experience around the service matters just as much. So we talked about creating an experience. We talked about your branding. We talked about marketing your business. We talked about how to make yourself unforgettable, increasing your vision, not your vision, your visibility, and allowing people to have the experience that they want to have. So then that way they are happy. We ultimately want happy clients because happy clients keep our businesses sustainable and keeps it busy. Um, So a great groom, a great training session, great daycare, a walk or boarding can be weakened by poor communication, confusion, or lack of follow-up. So make sure that you are communicating effectively. Your booking system or the way that your systems are in place or process, it doesn't create confusion for the client, and you follow up with them. If you don't follow up with them, then have somebody follow up with them. So whether you are, you're too busy or you just are not great on the phone, find somebody that doesn't have much to do and just say, hey, I need you to make a few phone calls with me. Here's a script, provide them with the script and a way for them to get in touch with your clients. So then that way those clients can say, hey, not only has somebody called me, because I get a lot of people when I do phone calls, I get people that are like, oh, I was just thinking about that. Oh, thanks for reminding me. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and book our next appointment because now not only do we create value with the client, but we're opening the doors of communication on what to expect and how we can make the experience a little better. And they don't want to be treated as a number. So, like, we may have a conversation on the phone. Hey, how have you been? What's going on? XYZ. But that's just a matter of opening the doors and just saying, hey, we value you as a client and we want you to come back. We need you to book an appointment. We need to keep these lights on. But little bit of conversation goes a long way. All right. So rebooking should not be passive. It should definitely be at the top of your mind before they close that invoice. Okay. Do not wait for clients to remember you. Make sure that you stay on top of it. We talked about visibility. So constantly booking, sending out mass messages. You could have an email list of your clients. So then that way you could send them like a newsletter or something each month or whatever the case may be. But make sure that you are in front of your clients constantly. All right. Build a system that makes coming back easy, whether they are rebooked before they leave or you send them with a report card that has a hey, rebook here QR code, or follow up with them 2 weeks after their appointment, or send them a message maybe a month out and say, hey, XYZ, we miss you. Book your next appointment here. Here's the link or reply to this message. There are a dozen of ways that you can keep your clients or keep your business in front of your clients' minds. So then that way they continue to book. They think about you every time they look at your dog, their dog, they're like, okay, Fluffy needs a nail trim or ear cleaning or a brush out or a comb out, whatever, but they need something and they're constantly coming to you to make sure that they get service. So recommend here are different examples. Recommend the next visit before they leave. Suggest timelines, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Never mind. Don't go at 8 weeks. 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 6 weeks. 6 weeks should be your max. 8 weeks unless they got like super shaved down. But even with that, they need to come back in like 4 weeks for at least a mini groom or a bath or something like that. Nobody should be going that far out. Explain why scheduling matters. I told y'all a long time, or 8 weeks for short hair dogs. That makes sense. Let's see. I have a question. So, how do you feel about automatically rebooking without asking them if that date works? So, um, good question. Automated reminders. But so I've tried that to where we have had people automatically rebooked in our system, and the only pushback that we got was one, they didn't know. Two, they didn't see the reminder text. They didn't book the appointment, even though it was automatically put. So some people are okay with it. Some people aren't. Some people act oblivious to the system. Um, but it's just conversation with those people. Like some people, like I have a lot of clients who are on a weekly schedule, whether it be daycare, mini groom, or whatever, but they come weekly, or they come every 2 weeks, or they come every 3 weeks. Those are automatically booked because I already know that they're coming 1, 2, 3 a week, 3 weeks or whatever. Some people stay on 4 or 5 week schedules, but they will tell me like what date works best for them. But the more you do it and the more consistent you are, with the clientele, and of course, build that relationship with them, the better it gets because now you already know what the expectation is. Some clients can give me their dog. I already know how they want their dogs groomed. I call them, your dog is ready. They show up in an hour. I can book their appointment, their next appointment. I can automatically add a tip. I can cash them out, and that's it. It's a system. The system is already there. Let me see. I'm left open for when they cancel 2 days before the appointment, which usually gets filled, but it's kind of annoying for us and them. So do you think it's better to just ask than automatically book? I would ask, yeah, just to have that conversation with them because let's say if I automatically book, then you get that pushback of on the day of or the day before trying to cancel the appointment. So if they already have it in their mind that their next appointment is July 15th because they specifically said July 15th, then more than likely they're going to have, or they paid a deposit for July 15th, then at that point in time, they already have it in their mind that, hey, I'm going to show up at this time. But if they don't know what date, they don't know what time, just because in the system it automatically books them, then that's going to be frustrating when they're like, well, I didn't know that I had an appointment today. For people that you don't talk to, I'm telling, let me see, because I'm telling Petco, some people will rebook, but they just prefer to call. Some people do. They do want to have those conversations. No, and we know what our regulars want for sure, but corporate corporate does what corporate does. But I would definitely say unless you've built that rapport with them, then I would have that conversation with them, or at least try to have that conversation with them ahead of time, so that both of y'all have it in your mind that this is the date that Fluffy's coming back. Let's see, train your team to ask every time. Right. So a simple script could be like, based on your pet's coat and lifestyle, I recommend that we see them again in 4 to 5 weeks. Let's go ahead and reserve that next appointment so that we keep them on a schedule. So that's already in your mind. The next 4 to 5 weeks, this dog is coming back. Or in their mind, in the next month, my dog is coming back for a groom. So or training or pet sitting or dog walking, which can be more frequent, but it's just a matter of having that conversation with them ahead of time, just to let them know, like, hey, I'll be back next week, or let's get you on a standing schedule. And in that way, everybody's on the same page, rather than just relying on automated system to do it, because some people will forget, and then that cuts into your revenue. So follow-up communication. Most businesses disappear after the service, right? That's a missed opportunity. So we want to follow up because it helps clients feel cared for after they leave, and after, the appointment is finished. So thank you for coming in today. Thank you for bringing Fluffy in today. Here's what we noticed during the appointment. Here's what we recommend before the next visit. Different things will help steer the conversation in a positive way. So then that way people already know, like, one, you take this serious. Two, you start off with educating them. And in that way, you increase your value and you build that trust because it shows that the relationship did not just end when they paid for their appointment. It shows that you really actually genuinely have a passion for what you do and you're willing to teach clients on one, what you expect, and you're setting the standard and you're setting boundaries. But then two, you know what you're talking about. And I want this dog to come back not tangled. I want this dog to come back remembering what we trained him on. I want this dog to come back knowing how to walk on a leash. I want this dog to come back, feeling good, looking great, every XYZ. And in order for that to happen, you have to literally train your clients on what your expectations are. So then that way you get the pets that you want. And like Ada said, we don't ask, we tell. You're the professional. You have gone through how many hours learning this craft. You know what you're talking about. And in order for people to know that you know what you're talking about, you have to talk about it. And you have to inform them and you have to educate them and you have to be consistent with your message so that more people know what you're talking about. And now we're training a whole bunch of people to stay on schedule, brush and comb their dogs, use our training tactics, feed the right foods or use the right products or, keep them on a schedule, XYZ. Our jobs is to train the people so that we get the dogs and the pets that we want and making sure that they stay on a good schedule. Now, in education, in creating this experience, we're creating memorable experiences, right? So they remember how you make them feel. And granted, you can't please everybody. Do not aspire to be a people pleaser because in the end, you are going to burn out. You just have to set your boundaries. You got to know how to steer certain conversations. You got to know, what you're talking about, and look them in the eye when you tell them, because otherwise you don't want to look less confident about your prices, your value, what the conversation is, and what you expect from them. You don't want to, oh, maybe you could comb sometimes. No, brush and comb your dogs because otherwise I'm going to shave your dog now. And that's it. There's, I'm not going to spend the next hour brushing and combing your dog out. So if you're not going to do it in the 3 to 4 weeks that you have your dog, don't expect me to try to get it done in the next hour because I have other dogs that I need to do. And that's on my time. Now, unless you're going to pay me $200, I'll just play. Whatever your price is, if it's safe for the dog. But anyway, make sure that your boundaries are set because you need to make sure that they remember you as a professional and not somebody that's doing this as a hobby. Because otherwise, nobody takes it serious. All right. It can be as simple when you create those memorable experiences, greeting the pets by name or remembering clients' preferences, sending cute pictures, explaining what was done, giving honest care recommendations, making checkout smooth, or making the pet parents feel confident and informed. You want to create the experience that gets people to keep coming back. Okay. Because otherwise, you could be the most expensive person in the city. People will come back to where they feel validated, heard, and that experience is consistent. Okay. Let's see. I just feel that's what sets me and my coworker apart. Uh, yeah, just doing the small things for them that makes them feel like, oh, this is a step above the next person or the next business or the last people that they have used in the past. So, um, what do clients feel when they interact with your business? That is something that you kind of internalize and you see from the client's viewpoint. How do they experience you? How do they experience your business? Right? Do they feel rushed, confused, annoyed, educated, appreciated, relieved? Is this helping out with convenience? Do you inconvenience them? Like, what do you do that makes this experience elevated? All right. Experience creates emotion, and emotion creates loyalty. So, clients return to businesses that make them feel confident, cared for, and understood. Now, as we continue to do that and build that loyalty, we're building trust through consistency. Clients should not have a completely different experience every time they come in because now they're confused and they're frustrated. So consistency shows up in pricing, communication, service quality, check-in and check-out processes, scheduling policies, and staff expectations. If any of those things change, you can send out a mass message or you can have flyers or you can have different signs that say, hey, July 1st, 2026, everybody is going to get a $20 rebook, $20 uh, rebooking charge like for their next appointment as opposed or deposit. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Instead of the 50%, it's just $20 for their next appointment. So that way, when you do start charging $20 for their next deposit, their next appointment, they're not looking at you like, why am I getting charged $20? But you got to make sure that if anything changes, because they're already used to one thing, they're used to dropping their dogs off and going about their day. And when you call, you call, But if something changes within that process and they're just going, they're in, just doing what they do on a regular, then you got to make sure that you set the expectation and you communicate with them when something does change. Now, if the client never knows what to expect, they may not feel secure. You want consistency when this in your business because it makes your business feel professional. Again, these are not hobbies. This is something that pays our bills, keeps our lights on, put food on our table, feeds our kids, take care of our families, funds our lifestyle. So we want to make sure that we're not treating it like a hobby. We're not treating it like something that I could just turn on and turn off. No, this is something that we take serious. This is something that we educate ourselves on, and we continue to elevate ourselves, and we put ourselves in situations where we can learn from others. So then that way we are taking our businesses serious. Because if we take our businesses serious, then people are going to take our businesses serious. So let's make sure that we do that. Now, when you do have loyalty programs and you show client appreciation, it gets people to understand that it's more than just the pets, but we're elevating their experience too, right? And it doesn't necessarily always mean discounts, but you want to make sure that you don't train your clients to only be around when there are discounts and coupons available. I literally had to get on somebody about that with their business. And she was like, why nobody books? Why nobody books? But then when she posts like, hey, 20% off your next appointment, XYZ, then that's when people book. And I'm like, because you're training people to expect discounts. You're training people to only book when there are discounts. Like, no, your message for every single post needs to be book your next appointment. Here's how to book. If you notice on my on the Instagram captions, literally booking is easy. Download the Happy Hearts Pet Care app, input your information, schedule your appointment. That is literally it. But there is a CTA with or a call to action with every post because intentionally I want people to know how to book their appointment. I want people to book their next appointment with us, right? I don't want you to always just book when there's a discount. So but you can have different ways of appreciating people. Priority booking, birthday messages, pet anniversary recognition, thank you gifts, loyalty points, referral perks, client spotlight posts, VIP days, or early access to appointments or specials. Now, those are the people you want to have a system in where you can see who's your longest standing client, or the client that may have spent the most money with you, or they are more consistent than everybody else. You want to appreciate those people because those are the people who are constantly putting money into your pocket. The question is, how did you come up with an app to do your online booking? So I didn't come up with the app, but I have my app through Run Loyal. Run Loyal is a booking service in which each of their clients have their own branded app and in which they can communicate, they can pay, they can upload their vaccines. You have a whole bunch of data when it comes down to all of your clients' information. Everything is taken care of in under Run Loyal, and it just feels good to be like, hey, download the Happy Hearts Pet Care app. Like people will be like, oh my gosh, I get to download, So we get a lot of people who are like that. But it's pretty cool. Like literally everything is handled through that app. Yeah, Run Loyal, yes, and it's pretty cool. So I would
I
definitely
have a
check.
question since that you use an app and you try to get people to book their appointments on there. So the system I use is probably pretty similar as far as like it has its own portal and you can put your logo on there and whatever. And that they could also schedule and pay for their appointments on there. So I just have decided not to use the option of having them book their own appointments, not even because like I'm scared of what it'll do to the schedule, like like I might have 10 doodles or something, because I know you could probably customize that. But I'm just thinking like if they have access to look at the calendar and the availability, I would be scared that they're going to think, oh, well, it's always like there's always holes in the schedule here and there. So that means I don't have to worry about booking my next appointment. I'll just call when I'm ready. You know what I mean?
No, I got you. So one thing that I will let people know, like one, we will have some availability for certain people, but then two, I would let them know like, hey, you might not be able to get the next day, or you might not be able to get the same day or anything like that. But it's just a matter of, oh, thank you. It's just a matter of communicating like, hey, things might book up. So even though you might see a gap now, that gap might not be there when you actually need it. So it's just a matter of just communicating with them ahead of time and just saying, hey, I would rather, you book your appointments ahead of time. So then that way you already have a standing appointment. That day that you want is already there. That time frame that works best for you is already there. Now, if you need to change anything, just give me 24 to 48 hours and we can figure out, a better day and time that works best for you. But at least you're already on the schedule. You would have to create some type of urgency. You would have to create some type of FOMO to where it's like,
Yeah,
book.
that's what I do now.
Yeah.
So I guess you definitely didn't find that you were having issues with people booking or like, having an urgency to book because they could see your calendar, or I
Mhm.
don't know if there's a way to like make it more like so that they can't see all the slots. I don't know if that's a possibility too, but I'm always definitely like communicating like the spots are really limited. Like if you don't book it,
Yeah.
I can't promise it's gonna be there, so book it if you can. If you can't, like I get it, but I do recommend booking, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, one thing I have done too is like if you do book your appointment 3 or 4, I might even go 5 weeks for certain dogs, you'll get 10% off. So
Gotcha.
that way, so that way it already incentivizes them to stay on a consistent schedule. Because now you're being rewarded with loyalty. You're being rewarded and it's more of a consistent revenue in that sense, right? So you stay on a 4 to 5 week schedule, you get 10% off of your appointment, and all you got to do is just book your next appointment with us and it stays consistent with that. So a
Right.
lot of people will book just by rewarding them, you know, and they feel like they're saving money.
Makes sense. Okay.
Don't be afraid. Let's see. Do you charge for the whole no-show or just take the deposit? No, I charge for the whole appointment. I charge for the whole appointment. Like if your appointment was $100 and you are a no-show, you're getting charged $100 for the appointment. And on your next appointment, you are going to get charged $65 for taking up a time slot that somebody else who could have been charged $100 uh, will be used. So, but the thing about it is I do have some leniency. If you get charged the $100 today, you have 7 days. Depending on the situation, you have 7 to 10 days. I will put that $100 as a credit on your account. So you will get charged today, but the only thing you have to pay for that time slot because you missed your appointment is that $65. How much do they have to put down the deposit when booking? 50% of the appointment, because I need you to make that appointment. I need you to keep that appointment. So 50%. Absolutely. So you'll only get charged the other 50% if you miss that appointment. But again, it will be a credit on your account. Now, how do we turn one-time clients into recurring clients? Because the first time a client comes, they should not be treated like a transaction. All right. They need to be entered into this journey of consistency, right? So that journey should look like they discover you, they book, they have a strong first experience. You educate them, you rebook them, you follow up, they return, they refer. All right. So again, they discover you, they book the appointment. They have an amazing first experience with you. All right. You educate them during that appointment. You rebook them at checkout. You follow up with them a week, 2 weeks later. They return and then it's consistent. So now they're referring people to you. All right. If any step is missing, then retention gets weaker. So make sure that you understand what the journey breakdown is because you want people to continuously rebook their appointments. So again, discover, book, strong first experience, educate, rebook, return, or excuse me, educate, rebook, you follow up, they return, and then they refer. All right. And lastly, here are some practical retention systems that you can implement this week. So if you are trying to figure out how to get more people on your books, if you're trying to figure out how to retain clients, how are you trying to build your clients for your business, some of the things that can help. One, if you're not using ChatGPT, make sure that you download ChatGPT or you're using it. Tell chat about your business, where your struggles are. The goal of you trying to retain clients. Come up with a script on how to rebook people. All right. So I've had people sitting up front answering my phones, calling people, trying to figure out how to get them back on the schedule. I told Chat, this is what we're doing. Chat came up with different variations of a script, and my retention and rebooking percentage has gotten a lot better because now people know exactly what to say. They know how to say it, how to respond, and now people are rebooking more consistently with these phone calls. So add a follow-up text after appointments. So if they are being reminded of their appointment 2 days before their appointment, remind them 2 weeks or send out a mass message. Set yourself a reminder each week to send out a message to people that booked during the week 2 weeks ago. So then that way it's like, hey, Fluffy, how's Fluffy doing? If you haven't rebooked your next appointment, send me the next day and time that works best for you. I have some availability on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So now, not only have you said, hey, rebook your next appointment, you told them what your available days are. And then now they have no choice but to look during those days in that time frame and rebook one of those days that work best for you. Now, granted, they could book anytime, but the fact that you told them Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, now they're more likely to rebook on those days. So be intentional about how you speak to them and what you tell them. So then that way they can book on those days that work best for you. Okay. We want people booked on what's best for our schedule. Okay. Okay. Track who has not rebooked. Okay. Ask every client to schedule their next appointment. You can create a client appreciation touch point this week or this month. Identify your top 10 clients and thank them. Make sure that you are showing some type of client appreciation for the people who have spent the most money with you. Okay. Review your checkout experience and make sure that your team knows how to recommend next visits as well. One thing that I do for our clients is that if they, so I already don't give out a lot of coupons or a lot of discounts. So we have a loyalty card that each client gets, and they will get some maybe like a free bag of treats or a free nail trim or 10% off of this appointment, 50% off of this appointment. And then after like 16 appointments, they get like a free appointment or a free candle or something like that. They have loyalty cards. So not only does that incentivize them to keep up with not only their card, but their appointment, they can also get $10 to $20 off for each referral. So if they refer people, they get rewarded for referring people to us as well. So those are some of just two small things. And you can make loyalty cards on Canva and ChatGPT. Let me tell you, those two will help your business go to the next level. Okay. So I made loyalty cards on Canva. I asked ChatGPT how to what I should put in it, what works best for the business so that we're not losing any money or anything like that. And came up with ways to retain clients and make them happy, elevate their experience, and keep them coming back. Our jobs as professionals is to keep people coming back by elevating their experience and making them feel valued, heard, and create a consistent joyful moment, not only for them, but for the pets as well. And just make sure that they feel appreciated some way, shape, or form. So if you on your anniversary of your business, do something huge for your clients or for the community. So then that way they feel appreciated and they want to come back and they want to refer people and the pets are happy, send them videos, pictures, show off how happy clients are in your social medias. So people will see that not only do you enjoy what you do, but the clients enjoy being there as well. And that will help create a stronger loyalty system within your businesses as well. Okay. So just understand that client retention is not luck. It is literally leadership, communication, consistency, and systems. Leadership, communication, consistency and systems. So if you don't have leadership skills, increase them. If you don't have communication skills, figure out how to communicate better. If you don't have consistency in your business, you better figure out how to be consistent. And if you don't have systems in your business, why? Okay. You need to have systems, because if you don't have systems, how are you supposed to keep your business operating if you don't have systems within your business to adhere to, right? How are you supposed to teach your team how to run your business when you're not there if they don't have systems to adhere to? And in order for them to have systems, you need to have systems. In order for there to be consistency, there needs to be systems. In order for there to be communication, you need to learn how to be consistent with communication through your systems. And now you're a leader because you have systems, because everybody knows how to communicate. It's consistent. See how this all works? Okay. Stop making it, don't make it hard. Don't make it hard. Running a business is already, and being an entrepreneur is not easy, but it gets easier when you have systems in place, and you have consistency, and you have a community of people around you that are willing to work with you and teach each other. We're all holding on to each other's hands, because granted, I don't have all the answers, but if I don't know it, then I'm gonna find somebody that does, and we're both gonna learn it. All right. And understand that getting clients is important, keeping them is profitable, but creating clients who refer you, that's where businesses grow. Okay. That's what makes you different, because now you have people being ambassadors, you have your clients being ambassadors for your business. And that is a very powerful feeling, because you not only have created an experience that people love being at, but they want to share that with the world. So next week, we're going to talk about how we are going to turn these clients into your marketing team. Because granted, we want a marketing team, but we already have X amount of clients who already book with us. So reviews, referrals, advocacy, and word of mouth growth. And we're going to figure out how to make that easy. Okay. So that's all I have. I'm going to stop recording now.